Here's another question. Oil prices. What happens to those expected to rise today now as the fighting continues and Iran escalating its attacks in the region, too? You heard Keir Simmons earlier in this discussion talk about the Strait of Hormuz. Huge. This is a huge global shipping route for oil. It is a big deal. It is, as you can see, geographically right in the thick of where everything is happening. I want to bring in NBC News business and economy reporter Allie Canal. So talk us through it. Let's start with oil prices. Trading picks up later today. Expectation is a potential spike, right?
Yeah, analysts tell me oil prices are likely to rise when markets reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Now, crude could jump anywhere from a few dollars a gallon to as much as 15 to 20 bucks a barrel here. Now, that would push oil back to that $80 to $90 range. We haven't seen sustained levels like that in quite some time. Now, economists this morning were also urging caution, noting that global oil production today is significantly higher than it was 2 decades ago. There are roughly 90 million barrels currently floating on tankers worldwide. That can act as a sort of buffer here. So it's very possible that we will see volatility, but history shows that these spikes often moderate once we see shipping resume. Of course, that is a big question when it comes to the timing, and it's something that markets will be closely watching in the days and weeks ahead here.
So then talk through the gas price impact, right, and what that means is the trickle-down effect.
Yeah, I mean, crude prices very closely correlated with the price of gas, and we could see that flow through very quickly. Typically, every $1 move in the price of crude, that translates to roughly 2 to 3 cents a gallon for gas. So an increase of 15 to 20 bucks in oil, that can mean gas prices rise anywhere from 30 to 60 cents a gallon. And that's on top of some of those normal increases that we typically see around this time. We have more drivers on the road. We do have those refineries switching to more expensive summer blends. So this could really hit consumers all at the same time here. And if we take a step back, Iran only contributes about 3 to 4% of global oil production. So that direct impact is somewhat contained. But you mentioned the Strait of Hormuz. That's really the critical question here. It sits right along the southern coast of Iran. You're seeing that map now, a very narrow passageway. That's what analysts and experts are really focused on. Any disruptions there, that's going to contribute further to sustained increases in oil and therefore the prices that you pay at the pump.
Pull back out just a little bit, too, here, Allie, before I let you go. It's not just oil. This is a critical cargo route as well. We've seen 2 of the world's biggest shippers say they're going to suspend operations for obvious reasons here for at least a little bit. What kind of a timeline on an impact there? What kind of impact does that have for shipments that are going to other parts of the world?
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing some of that impact as you just laid out here. I mean, huge disruptions here. They're going to have to change up their routes, possibly go around the Cape of Good Hope. That's off the coast of South Africa. Now, that's going to add weeks of delays. It's going to drive up production costs, create port congestions, drive up shipping costs, and that'll put a lot of pressure on global supply chains. We are still dealing with some of the effects of the shocks that happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is very critical here. And if we see some of that sustained pressure, that's likely going to lead to slower economic growth across the globe at a time when inflation remains elevated. So that's the key economic question here moving forward.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.